YNABers. My name is Jesse Meekum. This is podcast number 354 for YNAB, where we teach you 4 rules to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck, get out of debt, and save more money. And I titled this podcast Hassle and Bustle. And I know you might have thought that I spelled it wrong, but I think I spelled it exactly right. I feel, no matter how hard I try, I feel that December just becomes really, really busy, despite our best efforts to make it really, really simple. We get started early, we spreadsheet the whole tar out of this thing, and still, Julie and I end up saying, we're behind. Now, it doesn't help if you have 6 little kiddos, because you have 6 little people you got to think about and plan for in regards to Christmas and Christmas morning. And I'm big on the splash factor, not the expense, but it's just got to present well, you know? If you're listening to this podcast with your kids in the car, I don't know, maybe skip ahead. Anyway, hassle and bustle. That's what it feels like sometimes. And I've been trying to figure out how we can beat that. Starting earlier and earlier hasn't seemed to have been a real trick. Oh, I heard the weird thing a little while ago. A fan of the podcast, she said that she and her husband listen to it before they go to sleep. I don't know if that means it puts them to sleep or it calms them. I think for some it would give you absolute anxiety and it just rile you right up. But in the instance where Brittany and Cooper are just listening to the podcast, then I wish you an absolute best of nights and, sweet dreams. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled program. Hassle and bustle. How do you beat this? How do you just do it all in October or something? Do you try and simplify? Julie and I have really tried to simplify. One from the big guy, one from us, stuff in the stockings. And it's complex. I think maybe your kids are growing up, they get older, and it becomes a little more complex, a little tougher to nail down. Maybe it's because one of your kids revises their letter to Santa regularly. And you finally have to put a hard stop deadline on that sucker because I think we were on version 5. And then you'll just have random comments made in passing, like, oh, that'd be nice, or oh, I'd love to have that for Christmas. And there's something strange about how everything just seems to be up in the air. And I was telling Julie, I feel like we're racing past each other right now. Not sure why. But how do you beat this? I don't have any solution here. Every year we go in with the best of intentions, and then it feels really, really busy, when in actuality it should feel really chill, really calm. And there shouldn't be a lot to do, but there's just so much to do. My pre-lit tree won't light. It's crazy. I'm not getting another, I like the fake tree idea, because I don't like dragging in, tinder and kindling into my house. But I like that you can just box the thing right up and pine needles don't fall everywhere. But the pre-lit fake tree, I'm never doing that again, ever. It is not worth it, because those lights, they're way hard to troubleshoot because they're all just attached to the branches. And I got the little Lightkeeper Pro. I have not had the best of luck with it, despite amazing videos on YouTube about this little gun that supposedly fixes all of your lighting woes. So, yeah, I spent 45 minutes last night doing that to no avail. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to clip all the lights off of this tree. They have little zip ties, tiny little hard to clip off zip ties, and buy strands of lights and string up the lights, because my word, I would have been done hours before. So that's one. That's hassle and bustle, not hustle and bustle. Just hassle. I was disappointed. I looked at this is now old news, but I looked at the Black Friday sales. We had waited. We had our Christmas lists all made, and we were kind of like, okay, we'll wait for some sales. And I'll be honest, that's lost its punch, the whole Black Friday thing. It has lost its punch. The sales are fake at this point. 10% off, 20% off, you can get that just by asking at the register for 20% off or asking for a coupon or whatever. So that was a little disappointing, because we thought we could save a little bit there and be savvy. I think the retailers are the ones getting savvy. People are they're sheep. They grab their wool, throw it over themselves, and they just follow each other all over the place buying these quote-unquote sales. And as I looked at Amazon and a few other places I was targeting, and then you use the price comparison tool, camelcamelcamel.com. That's my favorite website ever made. not because it tells you the price history of every item on Amazon, which is extremely useful, but because it's camel.com. So when you tell your friend about camel.com, you don't short it. You just got to say, well, you just got to check out camel.com. And if you use camel.com, you'll find out that the savings were pretty lackluster. A few little things here and there. And then I go back to, this is such a rant. What a downer of a podcast episode. I should probably stop while I'm behind. But I just go back to you walk through these stores or you're browsing online, and I just feel like everything that's there is going to be broken in 6 months. And not because my kids break stuff, just because the quality's dropping. I sound like my dad. I sound like my dad sounded 30 years ago. Anyway, so I don't know how to beat this. I don't know how to make the more hustle and bustle. I don't mind a little hustle, but the hassle, it's getting to me. And I'm not sure how to beat it for next year. I haven't liked how it's played out so far in this season. One light that has been cool, one of my boys did stuff some stockings for the troops. And that was cool. One night we went down to this guy's store. He's active Army, and as a family, we went down, and he has this little tiny store where they sell Brazilian food. He's not Brazilian, but he lived there for a while, and he fell in love with that kind of store that was there in Brazil. So he opened one up here in Utah, of all places. And the place is full of these stockings they're stuffing for the troops. And that was a bright spot amid the season that's just seemed busier and busier and busier, where we could just, as a family, just sit there stuffing stockings and doing something meaningful besides just shopping for the next deal. Seems so trite so much of the time. So maybe self-therapy does work, see? You need a podcast, not so you can market it all, but so you can just talk things through with a bunch of people you don't see. Because I think that might be the key. Instead of hassle, what if you just said, whoa, how can we look out? Not think about strategizing for Christmas morning, which I love. I love Christmas morning. Totally love it. But maybe get away from that as the emphasis and more on looking outward, reaching out, helping other people, getting your perspective shifted for you. That would be pretty useful. And maybe that's where the hassle drops, and I don't know, you get some other flavor of the season that's far, far better. Until next time, follow YNAB's 4 rules, and you will win financially. You've never budgeted like this.